So here I have a pattern for a blazer dress, the front and the back. The link to a video will be in the description. We have like 3 now. So I'm just going to link the video to this pattern in the description box below. So these are all the pattern I'm going to be making use of. Right here I'm starting with the front pattern. I'll be cutting out the corset pattern from this pattern. So from this breast point I'll be going down by 2.5 inches. I'll mark 2.5 inches on both sides, then draw a straight line across. Next, from the waistline, I'll measure 5 inches downwards, then ½ inch from the waistline, then connect those 2 lines diagonally. This is the shape that I want my corset to be. This line right here is where the corset is going to stop, because this is still going to be a blazer with buttons, so that space is for the buttons. For this back part, I'm just going to get the front piece that I just finished working on. I'm going to place it on it and just align everything together so I get the right measurement. As for the bottom part of the corset, I'll just mark it because the shape is going to be different from that of the front. The corset in the back comes straighter than the one in the front. So for the corset right here, it's going to be in another material. I'm going to sew in another material, and I'm going to be cutting out this darts out right now. After cutting out the dart, I felt like it was too slim, so I went ahead to add ½ an inch on each side just to give it more, to make it curvier. Yeah. This is how the corset pattern is looking right now. Right here, I'm just trying to take note of this part where I'm going to have to add seam allowance. Also the back, everywhere that there's a cutout, I'll have to add seam allowance. I also went ahead to add about 1.5 inch ease allowance just to kind of increase the size of the dress. Next, I'm cutting out the pattern of the corset on a black organza fabric because I want it to be see-through and sexy. Now I'm pinning the main fabric pieces together as well as the lining. I have a video in the description box for a more detailed video on how I pin everything together. I want to focus more on the corset in this video. The first thing I'm going to be doing in this corset is to unpin, of course. So I'm just spreading the pieces together just the way I'm going to pin them. So starting with the right sides, I'm going to pin them in the middle. So I just place them right sides together. then I'm gonna just pin. So after pinning, this is how it's looking. I'm just going to sew right along that edge. I'm doing the same to the left part, align it in the middle, then pin along that edge. So for the back, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to arrange them the way they should be pinned. So I'm just trying to figure it out. So next, I'm going to place them together and sew down the middle. But first, I'll pin. This is how it looks. So for the other side, I'll just do the same thing. Pin it down the middle. Yes, so I'm just going to go ahead and sew this and iron this up. So here, after being sewn and ironed, for the back, I just connected it down in the middle like so. So next, I'm gonna connect the front to the back piece, right sides touching each other. And just like this, then pin and then sew and iron. Here, after ironing, I'm trying to decide on which bias tape to use, so I decided to go with the green one. I'm just going to place it along the seam lines. This is what's going to give it that corset look. Like, this is basically everything. So I'm just gently placing the bias tape along that seam to kind of cover the seam. I'm going to do that to every seam line. Yeah. So after this, I'm just going to sew it down and iron. This is how it looks. So going back to the blazer now, I'm taking in 1.5 inch of dart. Remember when I was drafting this pattern, I added about 1.5 inch around my pattern just to increase it a little bit. This is to even make the corset appear even smaller because the blazer is looking big. So I'm taking in this dart so that the corset will be able to fit around this perfect. So this is for the front. I'm going to do the same with the back. This is it after I've sewn down that dart. This is how it looks. So now it's my waist measurement perfectly. So now I'm going to be adding the corset. I'm aligning the back together in the middle. So from that point, I'm going to just pin very carefully right along that edge. So I'm just going to pin and sew. Here's how it looks after I've sewn it. So I'm connecting the rest by aligning the center back together. So I just have to be very careful, taking my time with this so everything's going to be smooth. So for the front as well, I'm going to be very carefully joining the corset to the main fabric, then sewing down. Yeah, so after I've sewn everything, I decided to go in with this same bias tape, just to give it that corset cage thing. So as you can see, it's already looking like a corset, right? For this middle part, I'm just gonna fasten it with this hook and eye thing. So now I'm just gonna arrange it carefully down the middle.